Donald Trump didn't get the interest rates that he wanted from Jerome Powell. And so now he has pushed the Department of Justice to open a criminal probe. And officially, the investigation is about the $2.5 billion renovation of the headquarters of the central bank. And also what Jay Powell said during congressional testimony about it. But as we learn the details, we learn about an investigation approved in November by Jeanine Pirro, a time when Donald Trump was publicly spatting with Jerome Powell over the desperately low interest rates that he wanted and believed he deserved. And Jerome Powell understands what this is really about. It is a personal grievance from Trump, which Powell is now going to get punished for. Powell is not scared. He's not backing down. And he put out a rare statement. Take a listen to this.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure.
Right.
This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
Right.
This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment.
All right. So bottom line, what Powell is saying is what this is really about is that Trump wants really low interest rates, and Powell has set them based on economic indicators, not on Donald Trump's demands. Now, I think it's important here to level set that Trump wants the Fed to slash interest rates because cheap money can boost or appear to boost the economy in the short term. When you lower rates, it means stock prices usually go up. Trump wants that so he can go look at this beautiful stock market. Credit cards, car loans, and mortgages get cheaper because the interest rates on those tend to follow the federal funds rate. Businesses can borrow more easily and maybe are going to borrow even when they otherwise wouldn't just because it's so cheap. And the economy can look like it is humming along. Now, politically, that's great for a president. It creates the appearance of strength. Very low interest rates are almost like giving someone a steroid. Boom. But then there's the come down effect later. And that is the Fed needs to keep that tool in its pocket, being able to lower interest rates when we are in a recession or a financial crash or unemployment is rising quickly. So think about the 2008 financial crisis or during the COVID era. In a healthy economy, interest rates are normally higher because the Fed needs to leave itself room to cut them later if something goes wrong. Now, this is what's fascinating. On the one hand, Trump says this is the best economy ever. You know, it's the best in a decade. It's the best he's ever seen, the best anyway. But at the same time, he's saying drop interest rates like a rock, which you would normally only do if the economy weren't doing so well. There's no match there. And ultimately, Jerome Powell has refused to be bullied. Now, even people like right-wing TV host Maria Bartiromo kind of recognize that this is a political investigation. There's really nothing here. Here she was this morning speaking with Republican Senator Roger Marshall, And Marshall kind of goes, oh, I think Trump's kind of just trolling with the investigation. Oh, is that right?
Is there really a reason for an investigation? Because, you know, a lot of people are looking at this and saying, well, wait a second. We know President Trump does not like Jay Powell, and we know that he's calling him stupid and that he hasn't cut rates fast enough. So is this political, or did Jay Powell break the law and mislead or lie to the Senate Banking Committee? And you say?
Well, Maria, we'll let the system play through here. I think there's other issues that we should be focused on. I think this is the president throwing out one more, maybe he's even almost trolling here as well. We got bigger issues to go after than this one, though.
Is there really a...
She knows it. She knows that this is merely a political investigation and this is a personal grievance. And she's friends with Trump, and she's got to kind of tap dance around this pretty carefully. And Roger Marshall does something else, which is quite frankly dangerous, which is anytime Donald Trump's behavior gets extreme, he minimizes it. And he goes, well, it's almost like a form of trolling, really. That's really all that it is. Peter Navarro, on again, off again, economic advisor to Trump. I don't even know if he's formally working for Trump at this point in time. He says, you know what? It does look here like there is real wrongdoing by Powell. And Maria Bartiromo, you can tell, is not really buying it.
With respect to Chairman Powell, first of all, the Fed is politicized. Chairman Powell is the worst Fed chair since Arthur Burns, and he is the poster child for politicizing the Fed. The only reason why he's still there is because he papered over the fiscal irresponsibility of Joe Biden and got America into an inflation crisis that President Trump is in the process of curing.
Oh, so we are still in an inflation crisis. Interesting, because Trump insists there is no more inflation.
Spare me on that. But if you actually look at what he's being investigated for, I mean, look, it looks like there's like luxury elevators and dining rooms. He claims that the thing was never renovated before, when in fact it was. And it's just, let's see what the investigation says. And the funny part, Powell gets up there and says it's politicized and it's the tariffs that's the problem, why the costs went up. Hey, come on, Jay. Just do your job. Since you got there, you made three major blunders that have cost this economy $1 trillion easily. So let's see what happens with this investigation. The only question is, Maria, we know he made false statements. The only question is whether he was aware and did it with malice. And think about that. If he was ignorant about it, that tells you how ignorant he is when he runs Fed policy.
So you say we know that he made false statements. What was the false statements? Do you know specifically what the false statements?
Yeah, you can run through the list. First of all, he said that there's never been any major renovation. There has been. He claimed that there's no luxury stuff in there. You got an elevator.
Yeah. And of course, what you count as a renovation, what counts as luxury. I mean, this is all just, it's basically semantics at the end of the day. But what's really funny is that Navarro says he is making mistakes. The mistake I guess Powell has made is ignoring Donald Trump's feelings about what interest rates should be and deciding with the Fed governors what interest rates should be. So this is yet another weaponization of the DOJ. We'll see if Trump gets away with it. But even Maria Bartiromo is skeptical, and that should tell you something. Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.